You'd rather starve than eat anything, the Persian poet Omar Khayyam wrote 900 years ago. Imagine that when asked, do you want to be young, healthy, full of strength and energy, you suddenly answer, no, I want to be old, sick, and infirm. Absurd, isn't it? But then why are our stores stocked with foods unfit for eating? Why do we stuff ourselves and our children with foods that ruin our health and then try to fix it with chemicals that ruin it even more? Isn't that crazy? In the olden days, they used to say, clean is not where you clean up, but clean is where you don't mess up. This also applies to nutrition. Some of the foods we are going to talk about today will seem very familiar to you and not very harmful. Therefore, we recommend that you watch the rest of the video to understand the harmfulness of eating them. When they tell us everything we need to do to stay young and healthy, we squint incredulously. What, just like that? No pills? No expensive procedures? After all, no fitness centers or gyms? But practice shows that it's possible if you just eat right. And now for the most important part. Our video is not about losing weight. Today we are not going to talk about starvation, nor about what exactly you should eat in order to be always young, energetic, and healthy. We will talk about the foods that are primarily worth to permanently eliminate from your diet in order to maintain the foundation of your health in such difficult times. Alcohol will not be mentioned in this video for one reason. It's not a food product. It should not be sold in grocery stores, and the fact that it should not be consumed in any quantity is known to any sane person today. Let's start with the most unhealthy food. First, margarine and refined vegetable oils. Margarine should be first in the trash. To begin with, this vegetable and animal oil product masquerading as oil is pure chemistry. That is, it cannot be made without heating and adding chemicals. All margarines contain huge amounts of trans fats, which are bad for the heart and blood vessels. For reference, 100 grams of margarine contains 15 grams of trans fat. Conventionally, it is considered safe to eat between 0.5 and 2% of trans fats from your total food intake. And yes, all store-bought cakes, pastries, and other pastries are made with margarine. Cheap palm oil also contains huge amounts of trans fats that clog blood vessels. Refined vegetable oils have long been considered an alternative to margarine, but their production uses high temperatures and chemicals as well. This kills all the vitamins and leads to the formation of all the same trans fats and free radicals, which can cause not only cardiovascular disease, but also obesity, cancer, and Alzheimer's. The real alternative is unrefined, first cold-pressed vegetable oils, but you can't fry in them. Second, chewing gum. Chewing gum contains nothing but sweeteners, stabilizers, thickeners, gelling emulsifiers, antioxidants, and food colorings. It is essentially a mixture of extremely harmful synthetic additives, which for some reason are called food additives. Chewing gum is popular with children, and it lays a time bomb in children's bodies. After all, the problems from the use of this product are the most serious. Stomach upset, kidney and liver disease, kidney stone disease, allergies, skin diseases, increased blood cholesterol, and even the development of dementia. Third, mayonnaise and ketchup. Mayonnaise is not only a source of trans fats, but also an incredibly caloric product. Just a few spoonfuls of mayonnaise will negate all the benefits of a great vegetable salad to which they are added. Industrial-made sauces and ketchups are a mixture of hidden sugars, salts, preservatives, flavor enhancers, and stabilizers. For example, 1/5 of a packet of ketchup contains sugar. In addition, store-bought sauces and condiments are often made from cheap oils that contain the same trans fats. And starch is often added to give them a delicate consistency. Canned tomato sauce is what doctors call a disguised killer. It can lead to an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and even tooth decay. Fourth, chips, fries. Last year, chips celebrated 165 years since they were invented. But while they used to be made at least from natural potatoes, Today they have become a mixture of wheat and cornstarch, generously seasoned with salt, flavor enhancers, and food flavorings. There is nothing alive and healthy about them. But trans fats and calories are plentiful. Not only that, scientists have proven that the crunch of chips occurring at the time of their chewing causes dependence on the food. In addition, chips contain a dangerous substance called acrylamide, which increases the risk of colon, breast, prostate, and rectal cancer. Fries from fast food restaurants are fried in a mixture of palm oils and additives. The mixture is not changed for up to a week. One serving alone contains up to 30 milliliters of this oil, which is rich in saturated fats that often cause vascular blockages. Fifth, sweet, fizzy drinks. They contain an unprecedented amount of sugar, more than 10 grams per 100 milliliters. That is, just a half a glass of soda has 2 teaspoons of sugar dissolved in it. This is the minimum. No less dangerous are the light versions, supposedly containing no sugar. Instead of them, manufacturers use analogs, aspartame, xylitol, and other chemical compounds which have no calories. For example, aspartame breaks down the body with the release of formaldehyde, and it is a pure poison and carcinogen. The amount of sugar, sweeteners, and coloring agents in the juices you buy is equal to that of lemonades and sodas. Half a glass of apple juice has 4 teaspoons of sugar. Orange lemonade has 3. Drinking carbonated lemonade or bagged juice is like drinking liquid candy. And we'll talk about candy later. In the United States, by the way, carbonated drinks are one of the leading causes of obesity, diabetes, and hormonal imbalance. Sixth, canned foods. Actually, canned food is not really food. It is a product of survival under extreme conditions. Meat, fish, or vegetables, before being sent to the jar, are treated in such a way that nothing living remains in them. Products can be stored for 3 to 5 years only in the presence of effective preservatives. The simplest and most reliable is salt. There's especially a lot of it in canned foods, but alas, salt is not limited to salt today. Consumption of canned foods increases the amount of latent salt and leads to cardiovascular dysfunction. Many modern preservatives are carcinogenic, and by the way, they're used in the production of not only canned foods, but also sausages. It has long been established that 50 grams of such sausage a day increases the risk of colon cancer by 18%. 7. Sugar, candy, lollipops. Sugar is white poison. I think we've learned that. Why? Let's break it down below. But rarely does anyone think about how dangerous lollipops and caramels are when given to children. They are extremely high in sugar. In fact, they are concentrated sugar in a pretty shell. Their glycemic index reaches 100, which means that everything you eat is instantly transformed into fat. Add to this dyes, flavors, flavorings, and then we wonder why we have obesity, diabetes, allergies. Sugar, candy, jam, these are all fast carbohydrates, the main culprits of obesity. But so-called slow carbohydrates are the sources of our energy. They're found in uncooked cereals, vegetables, foods that contain a lot of fiber. Sugar and candy are also a great breeding ground for cancer cells. That's who they're really good for. 8th, white flour, bread, and baked goods made from white flour. Store-bought white flour is essentially no longer a living product. White flour is devoid of dietary fiber. The grain is ground, removing the germ and husk, and in fact the most valuable thing it contains. What remains is the starchy substance, gluten. After grinding, the flour is stored for a long time, during which all the useful substances that are still miraculously left in it disappear. Plus, the chemical reagents with which the flour is given a marketable appearance. Flour, by the way, also refers to fast carbohydrates. The products we buy from refined flour are full of fat, margarine, and food colorings. All this leads to obesity, heart disease, and risk of cancer. Also to the calories. A tiny eclair can contain a day's worth of calories. A separate topic is yeast. Any yeast is a fungal organism, and fungi can be both beneficial and dangerous. We used to use hop sourdough, whose microorganisms cooperate with our microflora, just as the microorganisms that cause lactic fermentation do. That is not the case with modern baker's yeast. That's exactly what they do, more to support pathogenic microflora. According to many scientists, modern thermophilic yeast and its spores do not die when exposed to high temperatures, and remain in the body forever. Hence, health problems such as severe chronic gastrointestinal diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and cancer. 9th, cheap sausage. It would be alright if only natural meat was used in their production. However, here we should also include the dangers of hidden fat, because even the most natural sausage products consist mainly of pork skins and fat. Skin, gristle byproducts, and meat leftovers, plus 25 to 30% transgenic soy. And of course, preservatives, stabilizers, thickeners, emulsifiers, antioxidants, food colorings, flavorings. This is the approximate composition of all sausages, regardless of variety and brand of the producer. There's very little natural product in modern sausage products. The most inexpensive and common varieties of sausage, which is exactly what most people buy, in fact, contain 0% meat. Don't believe me? Then equip yourself with a magnifying glass and read what products are included in these products. 10th, coffee and coffee drinks. There's a lot of talk today about how coffee is a healthy drink, that it contains many antioxidants and even prevents Parkinson's disease and type 2 diabetes. But there are plenty of antioxidants in other food as well. Fresh fruits and berries, for example. Coffee is a kind of energy crutch, and if you drink it all the time, your body will get used to it. In addition, caffeine is invigorating only at first, and then the opposite reaction comes: lethargy, sleepiness. Besides, any energy drink uses internal energy resources of man, thus depleting them. But many people today do not limit themselves to pure coffee. Syrups, coffee creamers, flavorings come in, and these are the ones that turn coffee into a caloric, sugary dessert. Coffee creamer, by the way, also has trans fat in it. Of course, the list of harmful products is not limited to just these. But if you exclude at least them from your diet, your body will already be overly grateful to you. Thank you for watching, and stay healthy.